Now, what I love about you being on the show today is I feel like every show you've been on, we almost like tracking your progression. Because the first time you came on with Mom Dukes, we were talking about like big games at Dr. Phillips. Y'all had just recently lost one. I had went back today and watched some of the older shows. Y'all had recently just had lost one big game during the season there. We were talking about that and just talking about your play on the field. That was the first time you and Mom Dukes. Then you came back with Jalen. We were talking about girls, talking about life, talking about practice, and you know, kind of foreseeing the college
What are you on
colleges
to today?
and things like that.
Man, what you on?
Facts, for real. And then the third time you came is when we hit the recruiting trails. You know, like, okay, what coaches? You had some Nick Saban stories. You had
Jim Harbaugh
stories. You know, and about what's going on these recruiting trips and the college and stuff like that. And now you're in college. You're at Texas. You know, you've been practicing. You've been with what's that? Fall or spring practice?
It was spring ball.
Yeah, spring ball. All right. So let us know. What were you nervous when your first week of practice on campus at Texas? That's a top Division I football program, man.
Well, are we talking like the first week of practice or the first week of like school?
Both.
Well, it's in the first week of school. You get out there.
I was
early
nervous.
January?
I was nervous. Yeah, it was the day after the All-American Bowl.
Okay.
Just drove up from San Antonio, and my family moved me in, and after about an hour and a half, I sent them on their way. I was ready to have my own space to myself. And I was nervous for like my first days and all that, but like I gave it like a month. And I started getting used to the environment because we were doing the same thing every day.
Right.
And then spring ball started creeping up on us, and I'm like, all right, like, it's about to get crazy. Like, these grown-ass men.
Yeah.
Like, I got 26-year-old on my team, you feel me? Like,
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
He in my offensive line group.
Oh, damn.
And, you know, it's like, it was about to get crazy. So I was a little bit nervous at first, and I feel like if you're not nervous about when it comes down to sports, if you're not nervous, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
You know? And it was more like anxiousness than nervousness, you know?
Gotcha.
Just anxious to learn, anxious to pick up on information, and, you know, anxious to soak in everything that they was telling me. And it was a huge adjustment for me, you know? In all fairness, I had a rough spring ball coming in. I was heavy. You know, I reported to school at about 375. You know, I was heavy. Wow. And, you know, by the time spring ball started, I was about 355.
Really? Okay.
And then in the spring, I finished spring ball around like 340, 338.
Did they give you a target weight, or you just knew like in order to play?
I know how I like to feel when I'm playing football.
Okay.
And you know, they agreed with my decision. You know what I'm saying? And they've done that. They told me when I came in, like, hey, like, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? And I feel like that was probably one of the biggest things that I felt that they appreciated about me, was that I came in ready to work and I knew what I had to work on. And started spring ball, it was slow for me, you know. I wasn't picking up on it as much, and it just felt like it was too much, you know. Right. College ball is very fast. It's a lot of plays. It's a lot of people screaming. It's a lot of, you know, it's a whole lot of everything, you know. The practice, you're tired from start to finish, and there's no way around it.
Right.
And my first the first week of spring ball, since we didn't have on pads, it was kind of awkward, but you know, I was definitely getting fussed at, getting cussed out for not knowing my plays and all that. And, you know, my first day of practice, I was in with the twos.
Oh, okay.
First week? Oh, yeah?
My very first day of practice, I was in a left tackle with the twos. And I get out there, I line up. They making calls. This sound like Spanish to me, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, what are we doing? Like, I tap my guard, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? He look at me like I'm crazy, like what you mean? And it took a while, you know. Over the course of spring ball, I learned a lot about myself and a lot about how I maneuver through space, and like it's certain things that you really wouldn't pick up on playing high school ball when you get to college. I swear, I thought I was just gonna come in and, you know, I was just gonna, have it all from day one, but it's not like that. You know, reality really does hit you when you get there.
I was gonna say like for somebody who's as physically gifted and talented as you are playing in high school, you really don't have too many guys that are really a match for you. And now you get to the college setting, and there's probably a lot more physical dudes that are present different challenges for you.
Right. I mean, I'm competing every day.
Yeah.
At school, like, and when I mean I'm competing every day, it means classroom, on the field, nutrition, film room, everything.
Gotcha.
So when I get out there on the field and I line up and I got Tavondre Sweat in front of me and he's 6'5", 360, you know what I'm saying?
Good grief.
On the other side of the ball, moving like he 285, you know, it's you know, you get to thinking like, all right, like, what am I supposed to do in this situation? You feel me? I'm fresh out of high school. I got a first-round D tackle sitting in front of me, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like I really do want to thank my coaches, though, you know, even though they were very hard on me, and I mean very hard on me because, I mean, you know, they had high expectations for me, and I appreciate them for that. And it worked out for me very well. Towards the end of spring ball, it's like the day before the spring game, it's just like everything finally came together.
Really?
Like the day before, like the week leading up to the spring game, I was nervous as hell. I was like, all right, bro, I don't even know if I'm about to do good, but I feel confident about it. But I don't know what's going to happen. Right. And that day before, the walk through the day before, it's just like everything just came together. Like, all right, it's football. It's what you do. You gotten stronger, smaller, faster since you've been at school, and smarter. Put it all into one, go out there and play ball. You know, so everything kind of just brought itself together. I'm talking about plays and everything, techniques and everything. And, you know, what got me over the hump was learning that my coaches, especially my position coach, it's a certain way that they want the things done. And the best way to have success within the program is doing the things the way that the coaches want it done. Not how you see fit, how they see fit, because it's a reason why they see that, you know. And you know, I really did. It took a few weeks for me to actually trust my O-line coach, you know, like, but I eventually gave into it, you know, and it worked out for me in the best way.
Now, so you were actually in the walkthrough when you sort of had that epiphany of, oh, this is starting to feel different.
Well, I mean, it was like every day it started to feel like, one day it'll be like, okay, yeah, I'm good, like I feel it, it's football. Next day I have a bad practice. Damn. You know, but what I learned was you can't have highs and lows in college. You got to stay here going this way, or you got to stay here. You got to pick one. You can't go here. Right. So for me, it was just like trying to pick a couple things to be better at every single day. All right, coach say I need to hustle better. All right, boom, I'm going to hustle better today. Coach say I need to finish my blocks better. All right, I'm going to finish my blocks better. Coach say I need to finish through the whistle better. Finish through the whistle better, you know? And I learning from the guys that have been in front of me, it really helped me out a lot too, you know? Them started me off at left tackle, and I was playing behind Kelvin Banks. You know, Kelvin going to be a first round. He's a freshman All-American, you know. Everybody want Kelvin, right?
Yeah, I was doing some reading on him.
So me being behind Kelvin for those first few weeks of spring ball, it definitely opened my eyes up a little bit, you know, to where I was.
I was gonna wait till I asked you, but did you think about him and think about that situation before you chose Texas in the first place? Like did you? Because he still has 2 years left. Yeah, right. So did you think about like I'm gonna have to either beat him out or fight my way in the rotation? Did that play a part?
1,000%. Okay. Wherever I was going, I was competing.
Okay. So they didn't. Yeah. Well, clearly they didn't scare you away from competing to Texas. But I'm saying,
like, I know the offensive line coach at Texas, Coach Flood. He's going to play the best five on the field. Mm-hmm. If I'm not in that best five, that means I wasn't one of the best five offensive linemen. You know, I know how to play everything but center, really. And I have experience at center too, but I don't know how to play center.
So you are comfortable with moving around?
Yeah, for sure.
Right tackle, right guard, whatever.
The week before the spring game, they moved me to right tackle. Okay. And I had to learn the whole playbook from the flip side. All the technique from the flip side, and had to pull it together in 1 week.
Yeah. How did they, so you mentioned, you're trying to catch up with the verbiage and the plays. Like, when you first get there, before the spring ball begins, are you introduced to a playbook to begin studies?
Right. They teach you everything before spring ball starts. But when you get out there on the field, like I could write you out all of our plays perfectly fine.
Right.
Like before we got in the spring ball, I could do that for you. But when you got on the field, it's hard to do it actually.
Right. Right.
You
Just
know?
different.
Exactly. No.
It's different. It's people screaming. Everybody on the defense is talking to each other pretty much. The offensive line is talking. The coaches are talking. You're getting signals from the sideline. Quarterback making adjustments. You know what I'm saying? Coach wants you to tap your hip on a certain play.
Cadence, yeah.
When 20 other people talking, you got to remember to still tap your hip. You know what I'm saying? And you don't tap your hip, oh, best believe he gonna cut you clean out. And yeah, I mean, I eventually got it though. I'm proud of myself for that, and I won't get comfortable though. I'll tell you that. And when it comes down to competition, like you asked me, I'm not ducking no competition. You know, and that's just the offensive line room we have. We have the best offensive line room in college football. We're the deepest. Yeah. We have 3 whole old lines that can play ball. You know, and whether I'm competing with KB, Christian Jones, Hayden Connor, Cole Hudson, DJ Campbell, Cameron Williams, Nato Miozela, like I'm gonna compete, you know, and my main goal is to make it hard to keep me off the field, you know.
Exactly.
And
that's where you want to be.
Like it doesn't matter where I'm at. I mean, Coach told me when I get back, be prepared to play some guard. Okay, cool. I take it as a sign that you're trying to find somewhere for me to play.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely
simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Yeah.
And I'm fine with starting inside, moving outside. He sees me as a tackle, but if I got to go play guard, I'm gonna do it. He played Evan Neal at guard. Evan Neal starting left tackle for the Giants. You know what I'm saying? He played Evan Neal at guard for 2 years.
In Alabama, yeah.
For 2 years, he played him at guard.
Okay.
Moving to left tackle his junior year.
Yeah. No, that happens. You see that a lot. You know, especially wherever you watch an NFL or college, guys go down. Guys got to move around on that O-line. They have to be comfortable with playing multiple positions for sure. Now, speaking of spring ball, I came across an article. I wanted to read 2 paragraphs here. So the article is about four freshmen that are standing out, that stood out from spring ball. All right, and you were one of these 4. You were one of the 4 freshmen. First, before I read the article, I'll give you a couple guesses. You think you can name anybody else that's a part of these 3? Other 3 that were mentioned in this article. All right, and I'll help you out.
I got you.
Oh, okay, you got me. Okay.
I think I can name 1 for certain.
For sure, okay.
I might be able to name 2 for certain. It's the receivers. I don't know about the other one.
Okay, I do see a receiver on here.
I say DeAndre Moore and Jonte Cook.
Cook is 1. Okay, Cook is one of them.
Is DeAndre Moore one of them?
No.
Okay.
Yes, DeAndre Moore is one of them. Good
Okay.
job. DeAndre Moore and Cook. Yes, those are 2.
My guess for the last one
Mm-hmm.
is it Leonga Lafau?
This person is on defense.
If it's not Leonga, Colton Bassett,
No.
Manny Muhammad.
Yeah, Malik Muhammad. That's
Okay.
what you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Malik Muhammad, cornerback. Yeah, so 2 receivers.
That fits.
A cornerback, and then you got you here. All right, so I'm gonna read the article what they said about you here. 1 second, they had me on Malik there. All right, and you was actually on the front page here. But anyway, okay, so they were talking about the depth of the offensive line. That's their first paragraph here that you just mentioned about all the talent and blue chippers they got on the line already. Then they said, okay, a name to watch among the true freshmen along the offensive line that played well during spring ball is former 3-star recruit Payton Kirkland. First of all, that's another thing because I see 3-star, I see 4-star, I seen one time 5-star, so I don't know where they get that, where they put us.
To be honest, it depends on the site.
That's
you know,
really that's just
a lot of the sites did drop my ranking. Though, you know.
Do you have any insight as to why?
I do know why.
Why?
Injuries and I gained weight.
Okay.
So
not because of anything like gameplay
No.
or you had a bad what they call those workouts at the
Nah,
you know.
I ain't never camped bad.
Yeah.
I was whooping ass at camps.
Okay.
I don't think I ever lost a rep at a camp.
Ah.
It don't got nothing to do with none of that. It's all self-inflicted.
Right.
I am, and the thing is, I'm pretty much I am who I say I am.
And you can't help the injuries. That happens to everybody, you know. So yeah, for sure. Now, It says the Florida native offensive tackle, which I know you don't like the Florida native part, immediately stood out this spring due to the fact he was the only true freshman getting second-team practice reps, which you just told us, among the offensive line. I wouldn't doubt that Kirkland is the lone true freshman that started to solidify a spot on the too deep at any spot on the offensive line. They're just saying how deep the offensive line is already. He looks like the best option to be the backup left tackle behind the reigning freshman All-American, Kelvin Banks, we just talked about. Nonetheless, I still think the first year for Kirkland on campus is mostly going to be about him getting developed to be more well-rounded offensive tackle that can carry his weight a little more fluidly, especially in pass pro. But, yeah, they gave you a good shot out there, man.